On this episode of Lapeef, Let's Talk.
I'm like, are y'all feminists or fuckboys? What is this shit?
Can't be sitting
Wow.
there. Tam. Siobhan, you good over there?
I'm good.
Okay. Modern women fighting for the right to become the men they say they hate. Let's talk about it. Go ahead, really. I see you. Huh? Safe?
No, I'm on mute. I was just saying, where's the lie? When you put it in that context, and comedians always have a way of positioning things, right? And there's an air of truth to it. When you look at it from, and I believe that was Andrew Schultz, when you look at it from that perspective, I'm curious to hear what the ladies say, because it's more on them than me. Like, yeah, I don't see the lie in any of what he said.
Right. And so just because you get his attention, that's only half of the battle. The other half of it is, when we seen you, what was our impression of you? And do you look like somebody that we would want to take home to mother? Do you come off to the general public as somebody that we don't want to marry? Are you always available to everybody else? And then it's so easy for me to you know what I'm saying, see you hanging out on the scene and all of that. We want you to be noticeable, but we don't want you to be available for everybody else. We want you to be available for us. We don't want everybody to have access to you, because if anybody can hit it, then why should I take you home to my mother? You know what I'm saying? So it's the presentation that y'all also have to give, in addition to the availability, or making yourself available to him to show that you want his attention. Because let's be real, the top tier guys, if they busy, they're not checking for nobody because they got available options. But if somebody present themselves as, hey, listen, I want your attention, and I'm presenting myself this as a ladylike type of woman, and I'm not for everybody, and I'm not that visible, but you special to me, and you say that to him, we listen to that type of stuff. That's meaningful to us. And so, I mean, you know, that's just my opinion. So,
Is it making sense, Kayla? And I'm not just trying to
keep getting no free coaching session out here.
Like, really just trying to see if it's registering.
I hear what he's saying.
Test it.
Can't keep giving a free game, JR.
You got to test it. That's the only way you're going to be able to find out. I say test everything.
That's just harder for me, because I'm not looking. Like, when you know what I'm saying? I especially at this current time, I just am focused on what I'm focused on. So when I'm out, I'm not like looking for men. So a lot of the time I see men because they approach me. I don't even be seeing them. I be, you know, in my zone. So that would mean I would have to start like looking for people, like looking for men. And I don't like the way that feels.
Are the men that approach you the men that you want? All of them? Or do you want a higher tier? Or do you want a higher tier man? And so you may have to get out of your comfort zone from the men that approach you to the men that you actually want, because it may take a little bit more effort to get in front of those type of guys.
You have to change something.
Yeah, but I'm even thinking in my past, like the men that I've dated that have been of a higher status, it still was like, to be honest, one of them told me that they approached me because I was not paying them any attention. Especially one of them who's a little bit, you know, has fame or status or whatever. And every girl is in his face. And I was just acting like he was a regular guy. I was not in his face. I was not being extra. I was not doing any of that. I was straight chilling. And he liked that. He was like, felt like I wasn't giving like thirsty groupie vibes. He felt like I was just chilling like a lady over, and that's what I was doing. So I don't know. I feel like when you look too thirsty, like men with money, they see girls being thirsty like this every day, thirsting.
Yeah, but hey, Kayla,
you know what I'm saying? And like those girls are looking to use them.
It's a difference between presenting yourself as thirsty. It's a difference between presenting yourself as
thirsty. Well, you got to ask her what setting was she in.
Yeah, that's the key.
Yeah,
that's
what it was an album release party.
Exactly.
At convention center kind of place thing.
Right. So that's the problem. Now, if you was
Yeah,
at
you can't be there.
if you was at an art exhibit or something like that,
The other one, mind you,
you really-
approached me, was at a Black Enterprise golf and tennis event for Black men. My brother was getting honored for the tennis award. I was there to support. I was simply sitting at the bar. Everybody's mingling. He comes over. Can I get you a drink? Blah, blah, blah. He invites me on his boat the next day with some other people from the event. I go. We talk nonstop. And then we were together for like 2 years, like every day for like 2 years after that. I don't know. I mean, I'll try it and just see a guy and go up and like, because I got game, but I usually only do that with like people that
I got game.
I don't really like just like, you know, when I'm trying to
add
add new sponsors.
Right there. Talking about you got game. That shouldn't even be in the equation right now.
But that's different though, because that's usually not with people that I like. That's more so about like that feels like work in my head.
Period. So
that feels like work in my head, and it puts me in my masculine frame. Like when I'm in sales, I go out, I meet people, I convince people to talk to me, I convince people to do what I want them to do. I'm not necessarily very feminine when I'm doing those things. When I'm like hustling people, I'm not not feminine when I'm doing that. So
are modern women fighting for the right?
JR, I thought you were gonna be like, when Tay pull his verses out, promoters pull their purses out. Money for a purchase out. The charge card that they swipe for the worst amount. That's what I thought you were about to do.
No, I'm trying to get to the meat. I don't live that life.
Okay.
I'm a Christian. Are modern women fighting for the right to become the men they say they hate? Let me go ahead and play this context.
How are we going to get on the same page? We agree on most shit, right? You think that we disagree on a lot, sweetheart? Like what? Like what? Really? I went to one of them women's marches and we had a lot in common. I saw those girls screaming, "Free the nipple." Yeah, that sounds pretty good. They were screaming, "We should be able to have sex with as many guys as we want." Yes, you should. If we get pregnant, we should be able to abort it. Hopefully. And we need to work so we can pay our half. Hallelujah. Fellas, get down here. It's happening. We've reached common ground. It was unbelievable. These women were fighting for the right to become the men they've always hated. Just walking around with their shirts off, fucking whoever, not worried about the kid. I'm like, are y'all feminists or fuckboys? What is this shit?
Can't be sitting
wow.
Shit, Tam. Siobhan, you good over there?
I'm good.
Okay. Are modern women fighting for the right to become the men they say they hate? Let's talk about it. Go ahead, Rilla. I see you. Huh? Safe?
No, I'm on mute. I was just saying, where's the lie? When you put it in that context, and comedians always have a way of positioning things, right? And there's an air of truth to it. When you look at it from, and I believe that was Andrew Schultz, when you look at it from that perspective, I'm curious to hear what the ladies say, because there's more on them than me. Like, I don't see the lie in any of what he said.